I was going to say, I was waiting for you to say that. No, he looks like me.
He didn't used to look like Dad or I that much. Around when he got into high school, he just he grew into it. He got the hair swirl. It just came out of nowhere, you know. People really started to.
Yeah, when you first walked in, I really had to take a double take.
Yeah.
With Adam.
Yeah, Caleb used to be the blondie too, so now his hair is dark.
Yeah.
Me too.
You don't look like them though. Not like they look like each other.
Then it comes
Right?
back. Mine used to be lighter, then it got darker, and now look. I can't really say it's blonde, but
You're platinum blonde.
Yeah. I might dye it
Sure,
blonde
Jeff has expressed it.
later.
But your mother being down in the valley during the storm.
I am amazed. It's a miracle that she's down there. And it's just so she went up there to get some clothes and another project for herself to do. And they were just coming down the mountain when the storm hit. So they got out of there just in time.
In any case, she was in a different place.
Yes. And in fact, she's in the desert, so no snow. She's in Lancaster right now.
she's with Paula. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a ways from home.
it is. It's like 2 hours, 2 and something. But I think she's going to have to wait a while before she can go back.
Well,
Dad, you want to say anything to Adam? We're going to send this to him.
other than I love him, I just, of course, I'm very proud of him. But I love it and very proud of all of you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
I envy him the experience at this time of his life.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have done something like that.
Yeah. It's a cool experience. It really is.
But it wasn't, the gospel wasn't in my life then, and I didn't know any better one way or another. And you get called to Peru or
Argentina
or you get called to Pacoima.
Yeah. Or
or someplace like
Orange,
you guys
California.
know where Pacoima is? So Pacoima is in the LA area.
it's
And,
right next to Granada Hills.
and so when I was in 3rd grade, we moved to we moved right at the end of my 3rd grade, and then to LA to Granada Hills, and so my 4th grade was in Granada Hills, and I literally the school was like 8 houses down the street.
Yeah.
And instead, I got bused to the hood in Pacoima because they had they wanted to integrate everybody together. And so all the 4th graders that year went to Pacoima. Mark was in 5th grade, and he was like in Encinitas or some other place. And so both of us were in elementary school. There was an elementary school 8 houses down from us, and we were both bused to different schools. In
I don't remember this to be
it
true,
was
but this is what I believe
it was the ghetto.
over the years, that you guys ended up on the bus at least an hour in each direction,
Oh,
Yeah,
in addition to school.
it was nuts. It was just you look back and you think they were nuts. It was one of those things that's a nice thing in theory, that in practice is just it's onerous for one, and then you're throwing kids from ultimately different cultural ways of looking at things, which is nothing wrong with that necessarily, but you're throwing them together and forcing them to be together, and there were fights and stuff.
You gotta be careful about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember I got literally some kid just started a fight with me for no reason at all. And I'm literally actually on top of him, punching the kid. A teacher comes, yanks me off. grabs the kid and hauls him off to the office.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just
he
standing
knew
there
exactly.
waiting to get in trouble. Nothing happens. Go off. And
like me and Grayson.
must have
Hey,
been.
Yes, that's true. It was Grayson. That was Grayson all over.
Him out, and the teacher's like, Miss Mo broke it up. She like dragged Grayson off by his ear, and then she's just like, Caleb, you can just go to the office. They had me just like write out what I did,
What
and
happened,
then
yeah.
sent me back. Like they called his mom, and they like marched him
Yeah.
off. And I was like,
but
I
see, the thing, it
remember.
was probably
Yeah.
the same thing. I didn't know at the time, but this was probably some kind of a trouble, troublemaker. And but I didn't get messed with too much more after that.
Hey,
I mean,
stood your ground.
Listen, I just, I was in fourth grade. Like, what do you're a scrawny little fourth grader, but, I was probably taller than the kid, and I was on top of him, just, going down on him.
That was the saddest environment.
What was that?
That was
the saddest environment.
Yeah.
Your mom and I were sick over that school busing, not because of the idea of integration, as much as all the time you spent on the bus when you had an elementary school 6 hours in town.
Right.
Just,
I remember there were like kids there that looked like they were 6th or 7th graders that were in school with us. They were like bigger, scruffy mustaches and beards growing. And, I'm like, how old are you guys? We're in 4th grade. How old are you guys? In our class.
like some of the basketball players that I play with, it's like, come on, man, I'm like 4'9". How are you 6 foot already?
Yeah.
that was the dilemma of education.
Yeah.
Unless you can read.
Yep.
If you can't read in the 2nd and 3rd grade, you're gonna have to read the rest of your life, probably.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch up.
And when they held students back, the social aspects of it came into effect. And if we pushed them along, then socially they did fine, but educationally they just failed.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a sad dilemma.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you have quotas.
Yeah.
You have to reach a certain
Tough.
category. But yeah.
I've thought over the years, but see, I believe the answer is education, but it's not only that. It's not so easy.
I like what Arizona's doing right now. They have public education, but they also have a voucher for anybody who wants to send their kid to another school.
Oh yeah.
And they just need to make up the difference if it's more than what the voucher is.
That's been an issue federally for at least 10 years or 12 years. When Obama, what was the deal? When Obama was president, his daughters were on a voucher system. And ultimately put them into private schools, if I remember correctly.
They were all in private schools.
And listen, I totally understand what he did. I would have done the same thing if it was the best thing for my children.
Yeah. Can't blame them.
And but what he also did at the same time, because of it, Washington D.C. had a program of scholarship for some of the higher functioning kids. That and he cut that program out, or his administration cut that program out. If you go back to the Trump administration, Betsy DeVos was Secretary of Education.
Yes.
To give you a little background on her husband was president of Amway.
Oh.
So
He
Dad
was
worked for
not
them.
the founder, but president.
Yeah.
And he was active politically in Michigan. And I got to know them when I worked there. And
He worked at a hotel called the Amway Grand Plaza, and it was the nicest
In
hotel in
Grand
Grand
Rapids.
Rapids by far. It was like the nice hotel. Yeah, I mean there were other decent hotels, but it was the nicest hotel.
Yeah. Bottom line is, she was pushing the voucher and other options.
Right.
And boy, she just got beat up and threatened and so forth.
You always knew when DeVos was in the hotel because he would park his red Ferrari right up on the curb.
Oh, goodness.
Inside the thing.
Yeah, I think they're out of the hotel business now.
But that was DeVos who had the Ferrari, or was it with Van Andel?
Oh, it's the same.
Well, I mean, which one had
They
the
both
red
had
Ferrari?
red
Remember the
Ferraris?
red
Oh, that
Ferrari?
was Van Andel.
That was Van Andel. Okay, it was Van Andel.
That was Van Andel. Yeah,
He had
I
a
only
collection.
saw 12 of his cars
Oh,
out
Like they were building
delivering
you know,
to the airport.
He had like a collection that
For
he would show
something.
people to like
It just
for like top salesmen, like this is what you can do.
Yeah.
You know.
these were just toys for them.
Yeah. But it was
It's
a sweet
just-
ride.
You know, and that whole idea of the pyramid section with the business is they're
They're going to make money
They live-
off of other people.
they live well to show others that they can live well if they work hard, and if they work hard, the owners
get
their
even
share.
more richer. Yeah.
And anyway,
Do you know he's talking about a pyramid marketing system?
Pyramid scheme?
Well,
MLM?
so what it is
Basically.
basically like you get people to work for you, and then you get a cut of whatever profit they get, and they
Oh,
do the
yeah.
same thing, and you get a cut of it. So if you just
Well, yeah, that's an
don't even sell stuff yourself anymore, but you get 5 salesmen to work for you, and they sell, and you get 1% of theirs, but then or you get whatever percent of what they sell, and then they get people to work for them. You're getting a percentage of what they do. So those 5 people go out and get 5 people of their own. Now you're getting a cut of 25 plus the other 5, so you're getting a cut of 30 people. And if those 25 people go out and get 5 more people, you know what I mean? You can start making. You just don't even do any work, and you're making
there's a lot of
hundreds
like
of thousands of dollars.
Nona and that whale, essential whale.
Yeah. doTERRA is the
That was
same way.
Claire Heritage organization.
Yeah.
She just couldn't bring
Cutco
herself
knives, yeah.
to trying to sell them to anybody else but herself. But Cutco knives is a good example.
That's how my brother earned money to go on a mission.
Is it really?
He
They're
wasn't
good
very
knives,
good at it.
Mark sold Cutco knives.
Yeah,
We have some Cutco knives.
they're good. They're a good product. They've lasted for a long time.
But,
Can't sharpen them yourself.
that's the
but-
kind of business model they have.
It's all these business models are constantly turning and struggling to be at one step ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't, once they start going behind, it's very, very, very difficult to change it over.
Yeah.
The momentum.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad you're here and thank you for coming. All of
We
you.
wouldn't miss it.
Do you need to rest, Pop?
Pardon me?
Do you want to rest, or are you good if we're still here?
Oh, I will. You know, I've got the rest of my life to rest.
Yeah. I'm going to go get Sammy, though, too, because Sammy hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
And I
that's
know he
fine.
wants to come in.
He's going to be very nervous.
You can still
Is he?
I mean,
It'll be
you
fine.
don't have to.
Yeah.
Sit with us, you know.
Yeah.
But he don't really know us at all.
He,
If
he's
you haven't
he's
seen-
he's a pistol.
If you haven't seen the books, which I think you have,
I've seen one.
that Sarah did, they're out
So the other one, are there 2 or are there
There's
3? Okay, so I get to see 2 of
there. There's
them.
3 different ones. There's one on Kathleen,
Just make sure this is your brother hasn't come and seen yet. So he wants to come in and say hi.
one on the bullfrog.
Nono.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm good.
You're looking great. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, he came at midnight. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Your brother and sister. How's school?
It's alright.
You're not enjoying it?
Not really.
What's the hardest part about it, Sam?
Mm,
Favorite part? PE. What's your
I
hardest
don't do
part?
PE.
No PE. Is that the hardest part?
Maybe history.
History's the hardest.
Yeah.
Because you have to write papers, or no? You have to
I
write
actually
papers?
type it on the computer.
But you still have to write papers.
Well, you're
Gotcha.
getting tall, Sam. Look at that.
Yeah,
You're like almost up to my shoulders.
He's probably taller than I am.
Is he past my shoulders, or is he up to them yet?
Yeah, he's past the shoulder.
He's a couple of inches
Yeah.
taller than Matthew.
No. Pretty soon, you're gonna go from here to here, like in that amount of time.
That never happened to me, but you know.
Yes.
It does to young boys.
Usually happens to boys.
I love you.
Well, if he's anything like the rest of us, you know.
Thank you.
You grow from about between 7th and 8th grade to halfway through high school and then quit.
You don't have to stay. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could come in. Tell your mom you came in so she knows. Want some?
Thank you.
I see you. Is it still bleeding? You got that little spot there? Is it on that side? It's on this
Yeah,
side.
there's a spot right there on his forearm.
There it is. Okay. I think it's coagulated. So
My whole arm seemed to be bleeding.
yeah.
They couldn't get any blood out of it. That's why they kept on puncturing it.
Ah. You must be made of steel.
I go ballistic when they do that.
He's happy to be out. I'll just say that.
Then you got one night. They poked me 6 times.
Ah.
Couldn't figure it out.
Getting chills through my ankles. just
And
thinking about
finally got an ultrasound machine in. And that only lasted for a
That's
day
where
and
you
a
got
half.
that from.
it.
It's
That's
just
your idea.
well dried.
Oh.
I
And
can't.
they have to have at least 3 or 4 IVs, some to give you medication, some to give you
You should have seen the rack up behind him. Sometimes
Water.
there would be like 8 different things
Oh my goodness.
with different, lines going different
Medications.
places. I mean, he had picks on both sides. I mean, just
oh, it was awful. I couldn't move.
Right.
Because it would get it all tangled up in the lines.
No, it was
Just
it was so funny.
attached.
Just more reason not to go to the hospital.
I know. I hate the hospital too.
No, it was funny. I finally switched from my pediatrician to the local
Open door clinic.
clinic.
Yeah.
So it was my first time there, and I had some immunizations they had to do, and they gave me the first one, and so I hate needles, and sometimes I'll faint when I get pricked. And I was just like, they gave me the first one, and it kind of bothered me. So I was just like, hey, just so you know, sometimes I faint when I get pricked, And they're like, oh no, it's no problem, just relax, take it easy. She's sticking it in, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up, I completely passed out.
They're freaking
Yeah,
out.
Everyone they had every doctor on staff just in the room. Everyone's
Yeah.
freaking out. Apparently, the doctor that I told, I was like, yeah, sometimes I faint. And then she pricked me and I fainted. She thought I was joking at first, I just completely fell over, and it took him a second.
Well, it's scary for them too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know that I want to be involved with medicine. The technology is there and it's changing, and it's helping a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But on your left shoulder, you've got everybody trying to find a malpractice suit that they can sue your insurance company for.
It's true.
Anyway,
Well, I think Naomi is considering becoming a nurse.
A lot of school.
A lot of school, but a guaranteed job.
Yeah.
good benefits
It's
too.
actually not that much school. It's not like a doctor. I think
But it's
Isn't
substantial.
Isn't it still like 6 years? Something like that?
I think it could be 5, but I think you get your degree and then you have an additional I
Yeah.
think year.
Nursing school.
And then maybe there's like a training
Yeah,
time
yeah.
too. I know like we actually in the hospital yesterday they had the nurse and a training nurse with them.
Yeah.
Remember Mercy was coming in.
Yeah.
She was.
That's a good
the
name for a
training
nurse.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice though when there's like actual, you know that you're gonna get real life training with
Yeah.
somebody there. That's invaluable. So.
Well, I think isn't Allie she's gonna
Yeah.
train to be a traveling nurse.
Yeah, she's
Allie.
Allie's
Allison?
doing her she's doing her initial prereqs but is planning on getting into nursing school.
Yeah. I
Being an
know
RN.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a plan
Yeah,
and more. That's great.
it is.
It's nice when you know where you're going. It's
What
easier to
you
get
wanna
there
do.
when you know I'm gonna.
But along the way you make